I still got the thingy. Captain America Winter Soldier, spoilers. So in case you didn't realize from what I just said or from my other video or from the title, this review will contain spoilers. 5 seconds to leave. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. If you have seen any interviews for this movie, or if you've read on IMDb the cast, or if you know a pretty good deal about comic books, then you're gonna know that the Winter Soldier is Bucky Barnes. Yeah. And in case you don't know who Bucky Barnes is, he was the friend slash sidekick in the first Captain America movie, and he is back. Cool. Remember in the first one when Captain America and Bucky Barnes were on that train? Captain America was reaching for Bucky Barnes and Bucky Barnes was trying to hang on, and then he just fell and then supposedly splat. Well, whatever they did to him in that experiment place, and when Captain America found him, it helped him to survive. Even though he did lose his arm. But then he got a super cool metal arm, so it was okay. Winter Soldier in this movie was so cool. You know how in The Dark Knight Rises, how Bane just had that presence where he would just be walking around and people would just automatically be afraid to be near this guy? That's what I got from Winter Soldier. He was mysterious, he barely said anything, and he just got his job done. And so I already knew that it was Bucky Barnes, but my experience wasn't ruined at all. He was still a super cool character. And in the movie, the bad guy, Robert Redford, also a spoiler, was using his technology to completely fry Bucky Barnes' brain. And so when he went up against Captain America, he didn't know who he was. He just had this feeling like that he knew him. You know how movies do with people that lose their memory. Where do I know you from? I must know you from somewhere. And because Winter Soldier didn't know who Captain America was, it was a lot more personal for Captain America. And in the end, after all the fighting and all the issues, Captain America finally just drops his shield and says, I won't fight you anymore. Because he wanted to awaken the real Bucky Barnes. Which he kind of did, because when Captain America flew off the building after getting his face pounded in a bunch of times by Winter Soldier waited a few seconds, make sure the buildup was good enough, and then he reached down and he saved his life, and then he just disappears. And so, even though this movie was more about Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D., I think Captain America 3 is going to be much more about Winter Soldier and Captain America. And if you stay for the very end credit scene, the Winter Soldier went into the Captain America Museum and he started learning about himself again. He's realizing what happened, and I think the conflict between these two characters is going to be great. And so the events in this movie, like Nick Fury almost dying, the Winter Soldier, it really got me thinking about something. Now this has a possibility to be a major spoiler for future film. So for those of you who do care, I would suggest you mute it at this point as long as this spoiler thingy is up, and I'll take it down when I finish. Starting now. Okay, so in the movie they mentioned Sharon Carter, who, as you know, is related to Peggy Carter, and her in the comic books had a thing with Captain America. So the character Sharon Carter, Winter Soldier, the death of Nick Fury, all of this is intertwined to lead up to the death of Captain America in the comic books. I don't know if that's what they're going to go with, but that's all I could think about when I was watching that movie, that this could possibly lead to Captain America's death like it did in the comic books. I don't know if they would do that. That would be a bold move, but either way, that's what I was thinking about. Okay. Another thing that I thought was a really gutsy move was S.H.I.E.L.D. is done. When Captain America and his gang wiped out Hydra and revealed all their secrets to the entire world, they did it with S.H.I.E.L.D. too. S.H.I.E.L.D. is done. Nick Fury took his eye patch off, threw it away, burned everything, put some new sunglasses on, made himself look like he was from Pulp Fiction. And so what me and my friends were wondering while we were watching this, if S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone, what's up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I mean, where do they fit in this mix? Because the movies and the TV show, they're all connected. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Another thing I thought was cool that I forgot to mention in my other review, how good of a character Falcon was. I think the chemistry between him and Captain America was great. In fact, I knew that I liked him because when he got his wings and started flying around and stuff, I actually liked the dialogue between him and Captain America when they weren't punching people. So the other important spoiler that was in this movie, And with all of the Marvel movies, where do they put most of their spoilers? Correctamundo. At the end of the main credit scene, or at the end of the lots of words credit scenes. I'm sure they have names for them. I just don't know them. So, we see this organization that's saying words and you're just not really paying attention. You're waiting for something better than whatever they're talking about. And then it is revealed. Yes, they look over and they say something, the twins. Twins? What twins could they be talking about? Then they turn the camera screen and you look over, you see two cells, one with a female sitting on the ground and one with a dude who's like... Ladies and gentlemen, we get our first scenes of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. In case you're not familiar with these characters, you will be when Avengers 2 comes out, because these guys are going to have something to do with Ultron and the Avengers. But the short synopsis with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch is that they are Magneto's kid. Quicksilver in the comic books was just as fast as Flash. I thought it was cool seeing him like running around and hitting the wall and vibrating and doing his thing. And then you have Magneto's daughter, Scarlet. And with Scarlet, she was much more of a mystery. In some versions of the comic books, she had some weird powers, and then in other ones, she had the ability to alternate reality. If you know what that is, that's okay. I forgive you. But we don't know anything about these characters, how they're going to be involved in the universe of the Avengers, what exactly their powers are going to be. All I know is it got me excited for the Avengers 2, other than all the other reasons. One last thing, the scene where I was talking about in my other Captain America review, where I said it was between Captain America and another important character, happened to be Peggy Carter. And because it's been about 60 years, she is an old lady, and she's not doing well at all. So the conversation that they had, she's talking about how she lived her life and she wished he could enjoy his life. Captain America talks about how he doesn't know what he wants anymore. He doesn't know what's right, and just it was a good scene. So what did you think? Winter Soldier, Magneto's kids. Which did you like better, this movie or the first Captain America? Let me know in the comments and make sure to subscribe to see more great videos like this one. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.